familiar plan. Judy, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I will. Please face the flag. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Very good, very good. Well pledged. And I want to thank Judy for sitting in for Michael Fells today. Okay. Linda's okay. I saw you come in. Do you have a thought?
Yes. This is important.
Where's Mike with the mic?
Okay, thought for the day. Don't save things for a special occasion. Every day of your life is a special occasion. Use the china, use the good stuff.
Especially today. Okay, and my quote of the morning is, what was it? I wish I could be like a caterpillar. Eat all day, sleep for a while, and then wake up beautiful.
1, 3, and 10.
Right.
Joe, let's have a song.
A song.
Oh!
So I asked Scott, what do you want to sing this morning? Since he's back in the saddle today. He has a couple of favorites. One of them is Barbara. What do you think, Sid? What do you think, Scott? You got it. Ready? Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. My, oh my, what a wonderful day. Plenty of sunshine headed my way. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. Mr. Bluebird on my shoulder. It's the truth, it's echo. Everything is satisfaction. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. Wonderful feeling, wonderful day.
Today my dogs are going to be Michael and Jerry, but I don't see Jerry. Jerry. Bob is going to take it, the other might take it Bob. Thanks for greeting Al, who I didn't see, and Lori. Oh, wow, man. Okay. We have any visiting Rotarians today?
Mike for Mike.
Okay, we have visiting Rotarian from Windsor. It's Michael Jurek.
Michael.
He'll say stuff later.
We'll say stuff later.
Anybody else?
That's it? Well, I know about one guest.
Yes.
Our wonderful exchange student from Holland is Mother Linda.
Morning. Morning, Megan.
Hi. Good morning.
Good morning. I have pictures here.
Yeah. Okay. So here you see me on Labor Weekend. I went with the host family of the other exchange student in Sebastopol. We went to Arnold, yeah, and we went to the lake, had a good time. There were some other people who were also in the cabin. We had a lot of fun.
Nice job, LA.
Okay. I see you're playing Clue here.
Yeah, we were playing Clue. It was a lot of fun. I won. First time I was playing it.
Okay.
Colonel Mustard in the living room.
So when President Matt asked me to run this meeting, I said, okay, I will, but I got to bring out a few of the favorites, Old Chestnut. Oh, Matt. You remember Matt? And if you keep watching him as his presidency goes along, you'll see that it's going to age him.
Yeah.
It's all Matt. Yeah, but then he'll get better. Yeah, and then the light will shine, and then the angels will sing, and we will celebrate him. Okay, that's enough. Oh. check. Good check. $5 if you're not wearing a pin. $5. Can you wear any pin you want? It could be an alligator, or it could be a frog, or it could be a beer Rotarian pin. Put your hand up if you're not wearing a pin.
How about rocket?
Charlie, I see.
What?
Rocket.
Or a rocket pin.
Yeah, rocket.
All right, we made a little money
Who's
then.
missing
All right,
over
great
there?
money then.
There we go. All right.
Well, happy birthday. This is one of my favorites. Happy birthday. No, wrong button. Happy birthday to Barbecue Bob. I know he's one of everybody's favorites, Barbecue Bob. And BB King. We still miss BB.
That was gone.
And Freddie King, shown here with Leon Russell. One of my favorites. There's a better picture of Freddie. And Chris Brocade. Where is he?
Chris. Nice, Chris.
Chris, happy birthday. What's going on? Don't you have a cleanup coming up you want to tell us about? Mike? Mike, what?
We do, thank you. September 15th, we have the 31st annual watershed cleanup. We help manage that with Russian River Keeper. We're actually looking for volunteers to go to Steelhead Beach and then relocate, to check in there and then maybe relocate down to Sunset. So we still have a need for people to sign up. Russian River Watershed Cleanup.org. There's sign up there. Also, I think we have another cleanup coming up. I'd like to share it with Bill. We'll give you a little more information about some information we have on another one.
Chris kind of inspired me. And it's great that we're doing a river cleanup, but I've noticed, I'm working for John and I ride my bike to work every day. And along the road, I see trash all the time. And we're living in one of the most beautiful counties in the world. And the roads are filled with trash. You know, there's an adopted highway program by the state of California, but that covers state highways. 12, 116, and 101, and even those aren't well maintained. And I started looking around and inspired by Chris, I was thinking, there ought to be an adopted road to pick up these other roads. And I found out that the county of San Luis Obispo has such a program. It's called Adopt a Road Program. So Chris and I went, we met with Linda Hopkins, and we're going to start a pilot program. John Boletto has volunteered to be the first person to adopt a section of road, and it's going to be between High School Road and that Laguna walkway area just past, so to speak, along where his vineyard is. And on October 24th, we're going to have a cleanup with John and his crew, and we're going to cover it in the paper. And Chris and I were thinking this would be a great thing for our club to do, is adopt a section of road. So think about it, and we'll take nominations, and we will adopt a section of road with your approval and concurrence, and then we'll have an adopt a road cleanup day, and we'll all go clean up and then go drink beer or something.
Or we could go first. We adopted an area in front of Mimi, didn't we?
Scott, I'd also like to mention that it's Salvador Rico with the Ukiah Morning Sunrise Rotary is also managing the cleaning of the rivers of the world, and that's also going to be the International Rotary Cleanup event. So he's asking that we support this initiative that's was in the paper the last material. But we did also support that international cleanup. That's what Salvador has asked me to mention to you guys today. So I don't know what the procedure is, but it's actually, we're doing it the same day, October 24th, so it's part of the International Rotary Cleanup. We're holding the Adopt a Highway, so that would be the perfect day to do it. So
10:24 and 9:13 are the 2 days.
9:15.
9:15.
Saturday, 9:15 for the big cleanup.
Thank you.
Okay, very good. Oh, and that's $15, my friend. I do like fine. Speaking of that, hey, Barbara, where have you been? I mean, you weren't here last week. And I was sobbing.
I'm so sorry. We did the Great Family Northwest Tour. We went to Idaho and visited my 94-year-old mother-in-law. Then we went on up to Bremerton and Olympia, where our kids are, and then back down to Portland and then home yesterday. However, what I want to say is, how many of you know that there is an international convention for Studebaker and Avanti owners? And it was in Tacoma last week, and that was why we went. Studebaker and Avanti owners. My husband has the Avanti.
People are younger than you.
But the other thing in Tacoma that we found out is that's where almond roca is made, and you can buy factory seconds.
Well, so you brought some for the president.
Well, that might be able to be arranged.
You're fine mountain.
So, anyway, no, so we had a good trip. We had a real good trip. And it
Well,
didn't rain once.
welcome back, $15.
Thank you.
Oh, back to birthdays. Otis Redding's birthday. And you know, he died in a plane crash a week before they released Sitting at the Dock of the Bay. And I was reading about it, he had to fight to have that song made because nobody thought it was going to be important at all. It turned out to be a super hit and he never even heard about it. Yeah. Okay, so happy birthday to Robert Crumb. One of my big influences, you can probably tell. We remember him for Keep On Trucking. And Fritz the Cat, I had to crop that picture a little bit. Mr. Natural, Zap Comics, and he did his first album cover for Janis Joplin. We went on to do many. Also, happy birthday to, keep pushing that wrong button. Salma Hayek. That was just for me. Okay, happy birthday to Michael Keaton. We remember him from Mr. Mom and Batman and Birdman. And he did this movie about Ray Kroc, the founder of McDonald's, kind of an interesting movie. But I think we'll all fondly remember him for Beetlejuice. I need a sound effect for that. And happy birthday to past President Ron Cutler. Shown here with our songmeister Joe. Here he is in his backyard, looking happy to be there. And of course things are going to change. You know, I was wondering about when anybody is in Hawaii and they have their picture taken, they got to do this thing. Is that a rule, Joe? Is there like a sign when you get off the plane?
I don't know, I think his hand is permanently set in that position.
Well, mine, I was practicing last night and I have cramps in my hand now for a while.
Well, it's got to be there which finger you show. Interesting enough, behind us was this area that Ron liked to scuba dive and snorkel. That's gone. That is completely lavaed over.
Really?
Shortly after we were there. Yeah.
Lob it over. And did he survive the hurricane as well?
The guy's unbelievable. You know, wherever, if there's a disaster, you want to be next to him.
Well, that's what I always said. Anyway, if you were here, I'd find him big. Okay, happy birthday to Jim Corbett. A Paul Harris fellow.
Mr. Music.
And that's Mr. Music. Speaking of Mr. Music and Peacetown, how many people have been to Peacetown? Wow, a lot of people. Well, there's no Peacetown. Today, Nick Gravenites is going to open the show. And he's a world-class blues man. He's going to have an all-star band with him. He used to be in Big Brother and the Holding Company behind Janis Joplin. Wow. Anyway, 5 o'clock, free show. And then the headliner for that show is David Lunning. You guys know who this guy is?
We do.
Oh,
And David.
okay. Well, apparently he's
Good.
So let's all go out and see him. There's only 2 more shows left in the season, so you guys got to come out and play.
David grew up in House on the Bridge.
Oh, yeah? Okay, cool. Is it working? Oh, looks like a delic, man. Okay, so announcement. Judy had an announcement, and then you, Mark. What do you got, Judy?
Sometimes, especially when we've been hearing about certain committees for years or working on them, it's easy to sort of say, yeah, that's what we do, keep on going. And I'll hear about it once a month or so. I think what we fail to realize sometimes is that new ideas, which are exciting and are possibly intriguing to some of you, happen all the time. An example of that this morning for Bill. I want to tell you about something very, very briefly that's happening in community service. It started with an idea from Wayne Britton. Wayne came up with the idea of designing for Laguna a module dealing with basic electronic skills, teaching kids how to use meters, expanding into a few things. We put in a district grant to get some basic equipment. Terrific idea, but as the community service committee started talking, the idea got expanded. So I'm going to skip all the mail part, I promised Scott a minute to 2 minutes, and I'm going to tell you where we are right now. We're thinking about a regional West County-based service organization, I'm not even sure what to call it at this stage, which deals with vocational training and vocational resources. It doesn't exist. We're talking to people like Windsor and Pioneer High School who have strong programs. We're talking to local unions. We're talking to the JC. We're talking to our government. We're talking to people within Rotary who have experience in vocational and education. We're talking to people from the Noon Club who've got a great big fat $250,000 educational fund and are interested in the idea. So I'm going to leave it at that, but I'm going to say any of you who have a spark of interest that comes through on the idea of a vocational resource/training center, who would it be for? Maybe students, maybe the homeless, maybe veterans. We're not there yet. Come talk to us. Come to a meeting. Write to us. It's exciting. And we'd love to have your ideas.
Next Monday.
Thank you. Next Monday. Thank you.
At Hipstats, 5:30.
Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you, Judy. Mark, you had something?
As in the past, we've donated a portion of our cash payment flu shots to polio, and the flu shots have arrived this year. So, you know, what's the punishment? Got one.
Okay. So come on in and get injected. Sounds groovy. Mr. Linton.
To democratize publishing. That's the mission behind WordPress, and doing another WordPress introduction. This coming, not tonight, but this coming Wednesday the 12th. From 7 to 9 at the Chimera Makerspace. Any good questions?
Improve your lives. No, you're not up yet, Mark. You're not up yet, Mark. Terry's up.
About beer?
Here. Yeah.
Or beer and Earl Bomb. So we all know the Earl Bomb Center. We had a debunking there for one of our past residents a couple of years ago. It was great. They have an event coming up on Saturday, September 22nd. And they've always done have an open house thing, but they're trying to really put some steroids into this one and make a big deal out of it. For reasons unbeknownst to me or the world, they've lost a large number of volunteers who were coming to this and now can't. So they're looking for some help. I got a call yesterday. So it's Saturday, September 22nd. I will, with permission, send something out to everybody and give you the contact, who to get hold of out there. But how many Giants fans ever watch the Giants on TV? Their guest speaker is Amy G. You know, Amy G is, she's the Giants on-field, straight guys. Anyway, she's on-field report, does a great job. whose mother was a client at her mom's center, so, or grandmother. So it'll all be a good show, and we'll learn a little bit more about that if we want. Anyway, we always volunteer for things. We'd love to have you, as many people come out as they can.
Okay, but also, beer.
About beer. So, hey, Bill, just tell us quickly, what breweries are coming so far.
Oh, gosh.
You can remember. Come on, you can do it.
One of the most exciting ones is Barrel Brothers, and I just posted on the Facebook page a picture of a photo of one of their beers, and it's called WD-40, and the bottle has the same. It's blue and yellow, just like the. And they tape a straw to the side, a red straw. Unfortunately, it's a plastic straw. But they tape a red straw to the side of the bottle. It looks just like a can of WD-40. And it's actually, Joe, is it good beer?
Outstanding.
It's outstanding beer. So, Barrel Brothers, we got Lagunitas, we got Moonlight,
Sonic,
Sonic Hen House. Yeah, we got a lot of great breweries coming. So, if you like beer and if you want to have a good time, October 13th.
Someone help Bill understand one quick. We're at a dozen breweries right now. We think we're going to get close to 20. Bill's doing a great job of going out and stirring the pot. Natalie, you want to say something?
Yeah, talking about stirring the pot, we need, how many here are on Facebook? Have a Facebook account? Okay, so how do you look up the Brew Bash, because it's now posted to the Sebastopol Sunrise Facebook? Just toggle those names up there, and then like it and share it, please, to all of your friends, because that's how we're going to get the word out through Facebook.
This is assuming we have friends.
Right. And if you don't know how to do that on Facebook, we're going to go to Linton's thing next week and take over 20 minutes of it and have how to forward and share things on Facebook. Thank you so much, Linton. This is going to be our real first attempt at something that kind of takes the place of the Cajun Festival. And so now that breweries are coming and we're getting it, was an exciting meeting we had last night. We all left happy for once. And next week, guaranteed tickets, flyers, postcards will be here. We're going to give each of you 4 tickets, ask you to sell 2 or 3 or 4. And then we also want to do, respond to PJ's match of for he's donating 30 tickets, up to 30 tickets, and we're going to match those and invite fire groups from last fall's fire, because we are right on the anniversary of the fires. So it's a very cool thing to do. And PJ, again, thank you and Ellie so much. Is that enough tonight? Can I talk some more?
No. Just a little.
No, I'm done. Do that. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Well, very good. Now let's see. We noticed that Michael McLaughlin isn't here today. He's in Alaska. So I figure when he comes back, he'll be grizzly Michael. That's right. Okay. So I was looking for other things to do in the county. This is going to be a really good show. These are 2 highly accomplished blues players. They're going to play at the community center on the 23rd. Just so you know, I didn't know I told you. And there's also coming up the Lagunitas Beer Circus. Anybody been to this? It's really fun. It's on the 8th, so it's this weekend. But instead of doing it at the tap room, now they're doing it at the fairgrounds, so it's going to be really big. So, a lot of people at the circus. You should try it. There it is. But also, and this is cool, the Laguna Wastewater Treatment Plant is having a 50th anniversary celebration on the 22nd, and you can go tour them. Seems like it would be kind of a quick tour, but yeah, it'll be fun. And don't forget about the air show. We've been to the air show, and it's way cool. But also Marty. Going to have a Marty party.
Yeah, Marty's party
on Friday.
First Friday will be at my house, and people ask, Michael Phelps sent out the address, but it's 240 Frankel Lane. So Scott, Terry's going to send something out. Can you find that and resend that with the address, Terry? Michael sent out an announcement about the party last week.
Okay.
If you can find that, Michael.
Can you address it out to everybody?
Yeah, okay. And so, if you want to bring something for you to drink, we are going to have a martini bar run by our president. And we're going to have chicken, we're going to have potato salad, and then if you want to bring a side or a dessert, you can do that. We start at 5 and we go to whenever. We might have to have a Trivia Pursuit game. Yeah. Might have to have Trivia Pursuit late into the night, I don't know. But please drop by. How many people think they're going to come? Raise your hand.
We're all coming and we're bringing all our friends.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay, so, Marty, I've got some pictures from some of the past parties that we've had. And he's in this picture, see, there he is. And here's another one. This was a pretty good party from a few years back. And we've got Diane back there. I remember this. She was talking about being a member, but I don't see her now. And this one we held outside. This was in Joe's spa. I remember that was a fun one. And this one turned into a big food fight. That was good. Okay, sorry about that. Also, I saw in the paper that the Pengrove Social Firemen are having a Hawaiian luau this weekend. So that was just my excuse to play this guy. And also Sturgeon's Mill. We've had meetings out there. It was really cool. And they're doing it again this month. So there's Harvey with Huel.
About what to bring in the ad.
And some pictures of mills.
He did.
Mill pictures.
But some people are asking on it. I don't know.
And a sad goodbye to Aretha Franklin, just for my own sake. We need to say goodbye. And you know, there was talk some years back about putting a black woman on a dollar bill. It was a $100 bill. And so I thought, Aretha. You know, the cool thing is, they don't even have to change the name. They can just... Okay. But anyway, that's my vote, so tell your congressman. So, Helene, would you like to introduce our speaker now?
Michael, put it on my hand, yeah, so, but turn it on. It's on Sept
Good morning, fellow Rotarians. Nice to see you so early in the morning. It's my pleasure this morning to introduce a gentleman that I met back in 2011. I didn't know Michael before then. I didn't know he was a member of the Rotary Club of Windsor. But Michael and I met at the assembly. And when it was announced that he would be the district governor in 2012-13. And from there we went to having several breakfasts and lunch together because Michael decided that he was going to try something new in the district. And that was that the district governor line would meet and talk about things that make a stronger district. Michael's education is, his profession is education. He's a doctor in education. And he's done some very unique things. He comes from Southern California, came up here and has worked for the school systems. I knew his wife because she was a nurse at Hillsburg General, a lovely lady. Michael is very family oriented. And he showed me a picture this morning of his 5th grandson. He now has 5 grandsons and 1 granddaughter. What an accomplishment at a young age. But best of all, Michael's going to tell us of a new opportunity the Rotary gives us. There are so many opportunities. He returned from France and was on a fellowship exchange. So please listen and think about doing this for yourself. Michael Urey.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Michael.
Well, there's no problem with energy level in this pub, as I can see, so I think you've already had your first program for the day. Thanks for that.
Really nice introduction, much appreciated. I just want to confirm one thing. Yes, I did spend 16 years interned in Southern California. My parents made me live with them, but I've actually been here in Sonoma County for 41 years. When I was raised in a Eastern European family, you know, the classic immigrant family where we lived with our cousins and uncles and aunts and then got our house and moved to the next. And there were 7, see, I've got 6 grandkids now. Now there were 7 Uric grandchildren. And they were John, Jackie, Jerry, Jim, and Jeff, and Michael. So I knew I had to leave Los Angeles. You've got a great club. You're really involved in a lot of things. You're involved in your community, in the hospital, in the medical fields, in the schools. You have an exchange student. There's a variety of exchanges. Let me ask you a couple of questions. How many people like traveling? Yes. How many like hanging out with your friends? How many like eating? Then you're set for any kind of exchange program. I'm going to talk about, just briefly, what we have. You know we have the Youth Exchange Program, which you've supported for many years, and you do that both in an annual fashion, and you also do it in the summer, the abbreviated one. What is it, 3 weeks, 6 weeks?
Yeah. 4.
4 weeks, okay. And then we've had something called Group Study Exchange. Does somebody remember that? You folks opposed to people? How many have gone? You've gone? Great. Actually, I'm here today because of the Group Study Exchange Program. In 1985, I was principal at Healdsburg Elementary School. And the superintendent was a Rotarian in Healdsburg, and he came up to me and said, you need to apply for this program. It's a program to go to France. Go to France? I want to go to this program. So I applied, and I was selected as an alternate. I wasn't selected as a primary, probably because of my magnificent command of the French language. And then, in January, I got a call. And they said, we need you, somebody's dropped out. So I went, wow, that's amazing. And I went home to have dinner with my wife, and I sat down with her and my 5-year-old and my 4-year-old and my 3-year-old, and I said, I got a call from Jerry. They want me to go to France in August. And Allison turned to me and said, I'm pregnant, I'm due in August. Let's see, go to France, die. Go to France, die. I chose to stay home and usher in a kid. But I wondered who these people were, these Rotarians. Who are these guys that do this kind of thing? So that is what created my interest in Rotary, and in 1992 I became a Rotarian. Group Study Exchange has evolved over the years. Remember, it was young professionals led by a Rotarian, and then it moved to vocational training teams with more of a vocational focus. And now, it is, the new iteration is group cultural exchange. So you can be Rotarians or non-Rotarians. And it's all under that heading of friendship exchanges. So it's not one that's financially supported by Rotary International. You have to come up for that itself. And you see over here in this picture on the right, you can't probably see it from that screen, but that's Pam Moulton, who's in our Windsor Club. And that was the last group study exchange in our district, which went to District 1700 in France, excuse me, south of France, in 1213, when I was governor. Well, I'm here to talk about the friendship exchange. You know that picture. That's our nice 11,600 square mile district, all right? The Rotary Friendship Exchange is Rotarians to Rotarians. And has anyone hosted one of our teams before? In the last 4 or 5 years, there we go, Barbara, you have. Which one?
New Zealand.
New Zealand.
During the fires.
During the fires. Those guys got the short shift. They came in during the fire, and then they had to make some last minute changes, obviously. But we've had the Kiwis from New Zealand. We've had 2 groups from India. We just went this past spring to France. Our team went. And then France is coming to us, and I'll talk about that in a moment. And
we had Russians at Ken Brandt's house.
We had Russians at, okay. So we've had 4 or 5. Greg Freitas is the chair, okay, of our Rotary Friendship Exchange. So let's talk about that a little bit. What happens in a Rotary Friendship Exchange? Well, basically, it's the same goal. Building understanding across cultures. This was District 1700. It was one of the reasons I was particularly interested, because I have an interest in France, but also it was the same district that was involved during my governor year. So you can see on the map, it's the southwest part of France, and on the south part of that, you hit right up against Spain. The Mediterranean is over here. And we basically, it's a huge district like ours. It's about 80 clubs. I think this, in kilometers, it's about the same size physically as our district. So we stayed basically in this section. And where we went was on the upper left, that's Toulouse. And then the upper right, we have, well, it's Toulouse and then Balma. We went to the Balma Club there. And then on the upper right, we have Grenade. Then we go to the 3 o'clock, and that's Carcassonne. And then 5 o'clock down there is the Pyrenees, Font-Verdu. And 7 is Perpignan, and then Montpellier. All right? And we saw a lot of things along the way. You stay in the you stay in other Rotarians' houses for basically 3 days, and it's kind of a really interesting thing. You go in there, and it's like really polite. You know, you just be like, hello, you know. It's interesting. By the next morning, all that kind of just fades away. It's like, what's your sin? Right? It's just there. Language. I have been studying French on and off for about 8 years. And I'm to the point where I can get around, and then I can pause and try to find the word. Okay? I was the second most fluent person there. But you know what happens? Everybody says, glad to have you here. It's crazy, it's crazy. Many of the folks in this section of France it's one of the less English-speaking areas, but it's an amazing area. And it's fun because everybody was going to their phones and that kind of thing. They match you up with families. Okay? This is the outgoing team, and you see Greg and Lily Freitas, many of you know them up there on the upper left. And Greg is the chair for Group Study Exchange. So Greg will regularly send out information on the next trip that comes out. If you have an interest, be watching for that, and your president and club will get information on that. On the right is John Cinnamon and Sue McElvin. In the center, the Jerry and Jerry Club, Jerry Patterson and Jerry Bessies, also known as He Jerry, She Jerry. They called them Mrs. Jerry, Mr. Jerry. Kind of interesting. On the left are Walt and Judy Letterhose and House, and then yours truly on the bottom. And everybody else was from Petaluma. 2 clubs, and 2, 4, 6, 8 people, and then I was representing our North County. All right. Not only do you gain those friendships in the Rotary Friendship Exchange, but you also gain it among yourselves and getting to know folks, and I'll tell you a few stories along that way. All right, what do you get? Well, first you go and you do a program, basically. You prepare a program. So we share our communities, some of our projects like the Ride for Polio, our commitment to the Youth Study Program. It's one of the hallmarks of this district is how involved we are in Youth Study Exchange. Our physical area, that's a picture of the Redwoods, but we also had towns in there, and we show that. And we tell a little bit about our families. So they really get to know you, all right? And vice versa. Here's what you get. You get to go to a community and experience that community. These are shots from the Toulouse Farmers Market, where you can buy anything from clothes to food to, well, this ended up in a bunch of people dancing who should remain nameless, but apparently there's a film somewhere they're hiding in this district. But a lot of energy. Does this feel like home? I mean, people walk around this, or go from town to town to town. Friday night I was at the one up in Cloverdale, and their music festival up there. Very, very similar. Walking around, getting to know the kinds of things that occur in the community. And we saw both the town, Toulouse is either the second or third largest town in France. But we also saw very rural areas as well. You get to experience a community with the people that live in that community and talk about that community and have the history of that community. This is Port de Sept, and that's a castle. There's about 75,000 castles and 276 churches. We got to all of them in 2 weeks. And if you get just to the bottom, you drive just to the bottom of that castle, and then you get to walk to the top. And if you live through that, you get lunch. The bottom shot shows you what it looks like from the bottom going down, and the other shot shows you what it looks like on the way. Amazing, amazing stuff. Now these folks are going to come and see us in April, May. We're going to return the favor. And one of my things that I'm really, really pumped about is after going to all these amazing Roman-influenced sites, you know, standing next to pieces of stone in a basement that have been unearthed that are, you know, were from the 14th century, they are going to come to Windsor, and I'm going to go, see this building? It's been here for 23 years. History.
Just show them. Just show them Bruce.
Hey, the former bordello in Windsor is still standing. It's one of the few original buildings in town, 1846. But you really do get a lot of incredible stuff along the way. These are some examples. You see a church exterior on the right side, and just a view of Toulouse and the river that runs through it. Great movie, by the way. Interesting piece. You know, you pull different things from your travels, don't you? Be it by your own bias and your own interest. I was the guy who kept saying, "Oh boy, another church," you know, to my teammates, because you get a little, you know, you get a little there. But it's really interesting in that my late wife, it was the music. Okay, it was the music, and there were a couple of moments. We walked into one church, and here's 4 Russian gentlemen singing, you know, doing a performance. We walk into another, and I sit down, and they've got piped in an incredible, one of my favorite Vivaldi's Four Seasons, you know. But also what really strikes me, my father was a plumber, his twin brother was an electrician, and my grandfather was a carpenter. So being a tradesman, to look at these buildings that were built over 200 and 300 years and go, wait a minute, this isn't a person sitting there, it's multiple families. It's just kind of an amazing, moving moment that touches you in your own personal way. You also, how many people have one of those things and checking their steps? Yeah, I love OCD, now, you know, the OCD fitness type of thing. OCD, obviously completely delightful, you got it. You don't gain any weight when you're going, because you're doing a lot of walking. There's incredibly beautiful, you know, it's the beauty of the area. You have moments, this moment on the right, I went into, I was walking through a courtyard, I said, I wonder what that courtyard looks like from the inside. Now, I'm no Jerry, you know, you're Jerry, but I took that shot. The one on the top, it brings you home. When I took that shot on the top of those flowers, I thought of past District Governor Helene. The one on the bottom, I thought of past District Governor Bruce. Okay, going on to that. The food. The food. A few of us, I've been taking, as I said, I've been studying French. It's been studying me from on and off. And there's a class at the JC taught by a woman who also teaches private lessons in Windsor. And several of us went. Okay. And the last night, it was a conversation for traveling. And the last night, Bene had menus. And she's sharing, you know, ordering and and then people start raising their hand and saying, how do you say I'm allergic to? How do you say I'm vegan? So she had this whole whiteboard, you know, of all the things. And I'm going, why are you going to France?
Exactly.
Here's what I'm allergic to. Nothing. Give me the food. All right? Let's just eat it. Then we walk it off. So you have meals prepared in the homes of Rotarians. You have meals at restaurants that are amazing. We actually had, one of our members is a vegan, and with the exception of this day when we did a impromptu at this oyster, it's not a factory, what's it called when you're, Yeah, oyster farm, thank you. I'm an educator, what do I know about farming? With the exception of that day, he had amazing meals. They were so accommodating. What happens when you travel and you really know people? All those stereotypes blow out, right? Tremendously loving and caring and accommodating folks. This bottom shot, kind of looks like a game show, doesn't it? We walked into that and we went, you know, what are we supposed to, you were talking Trivial Pursuit, we're supposed to be doing Family Feud or something. That was a vermouth tasting. So I've had wine tasting, beer tasting, tequila tasting, and now I've moved on to vermouth tasting. And in another 5 or 6 years, I'm sure we'll have something else that we'll be doing tasting for as it moves into culture. Never mind, his mind is going that way again. Okay, but it's the people, all right? So my first host family, Francis and Domi, are up there in Toulouse. Amazing couple. It was my shot back to my San Francisco days. They had what I would call the Toulouse version of a house in the Mission. You know, small place, basically 1 bedroom upstairs, a conversion downstairs. They ripped it out. They even drove the car I drove, same color. Okay, I was like, oh, I can live here. So we're hoping to maybe do a house exchange type of thing. Just a really great family. He's an avocat, he's a lawyer, and she works in, she's a law clerk. And they actually been married now 6 or 7 years, moved back. Over on the right, you see some folks from the Balma Club, amazing. They're the ones who made this incredible dinner. They had a wine tasting. There was a group of 3 women that had a winery there that gave us a private tasting from their winery in France, and amazing stuff. Down here, this is my last host, Mark and Kati. Mark is, well now, he's turned 80, and we have a van. It's like my good friend here who always gave us a van for the GSE team, okay, and sold my daughter a Volkswagen. Side story, he looks at me and goes, you know it's a chick car. Yeah, I know that's a chick car. That is not a disrespectful comment. My daughter liked the car. So Mark is really interesting. They give us this van. You have moments that are just really touching. You've got Jerry Patterson and Julie Letterhouse are in the front because they need to be in the front of the van for the movement. And I'm in the back because I don't really care. I used to hide in the back when my kids drove or my wife drove, hoping not to be the last one to go through the windshield. Mark, well, let me put it this way. I had 2 thoughts. The first was, I'm glad my trust is in order. And the second was, it was just amusing to watch Julie and Jerry up in front, because I was in the back going, this is the post, and this is how close the van was to it. You know? Occasionally we're on the curb, occasionally we weren't. You have to kind of just take your faith with you as you travel. This little, this confluence of folks down here, amazing. That was, when we went to Fort-Remu, it's in the Pyrenees, and it backs right up to Spain. My host, Maria Tony, when you went out of their driveway onto the street, there's a building, and there's about 25 feet to a creek, and there's a painting on the building of a woman, and there's 2 signs, España, France. Because if you cross that creek, you're in Spain. So we popped down to Spain, you know, just for the day. And Catalonia has been in the news lately. Interesting. Walk through Catalonia, and it's just, it's very quiet. It's a Sunday, but the flags, you know, rang, you know, This color, that color. This country, that country. Very interesting time to be there. The lower section is from Perpignan, and we went to a coastal town, Collioure. Really, it was like a very colorfully painted Sausalito. So, fun moment, great place to eat. But right behind these folks, there's a group of men and women in military uniform that are very, very dark, and they're all huddled together. And the reason they were was because, as you saw and watched, out in the water, 2 by 2, they were going into the water. They had to swim past this rowboat. They'd go over a series of trials and then go run like a quarter mile and come back. It was not heated water, which is what I prefer, and it wasn't the warmest of days, let's say. And the reason they were huddled together is they were trying to keep each other warm. I suggested to Jerry Patterson that he should go in and show them what the Americans could do. He rejected my moves at all opportunities. You can see a wine tasting up there. You can see the banner exchange. It's just like any other Rotary meeting. It's as fun as I'll get out. I was standing on a bench with a clicker I had my phone clicked into the computer, and then we had the tablet over here so we could read our presentation in French. Quite the time. And this one down here, that's Jacques. So here's what they do for you there. You send a little bio on what you're interested in. That was my third Jacques. I had 3 Jacques on this trip. My first Jacques, they are so attentive and so caring about you that they take what you wrote about yourself and they try to pair you up. So the people that were art history stayed in this incredible house in Perpignan, right in the downtown, and it was like in a museum. Well, I wrote that first Jacques, not this Jacques. One of the things I was interested in was I liked hiking, I'm an avid swimmer, So on the first group they said, "Oh, you're the athlete." I'm going, okay, I don't think I should. We're going to put you with a sportsman. Jacques, number 1. Jacques number 1, let's just say he's in good shape, okay? I go to his house, and he says, "Let me show you my stuff." And we go down, because his house is built over his garage, and his garage is probably 2,000 square feet, you know. He's got his kayaks, he's got his bicycles, he's got his climbing equipment. He said, "I'm going back to climbing. I had an accident. I lost 3 toes, but I've been working it out." And all I'm going is, "My God, don't wake me up and say we're doing a 6K in the morning." Jacques on the lower left there. The other thing I like is I like photography. I play with it. Okay, I enjoyed it. Well, by that time they'd seen me be taking pictures, and Linda can attest to this, you know, hanging over. Oh, this will be a good shot if I kind of do that. I've done that for my good friend Pam. Well, maybe if I go upside down, this will look good. The van could not hold everyone with the host, so he said, "I've got you." I went, "Oh, good. Okay, great. It's a BMW. It works." He decided I was a photographer and he needed to show me what I should be taking pictures of. Usually at about 100 kilometers an hour. Yeah, wait a minute. Take this one. Okay. Get your trust in order. You'll be fine. The kids will be happy. They'll have a little money. Whatever. All right. What it's about, it's about the people. And it really is about building friendships. Not only the ones that you gain internally, but you know when you travel with folks. And I travel a lot. You know, I've stayed in a lot of hotels. I've stayed in some interesting places. I've seen some really fabulous sights. Even had fun taking pictures. But there's nothing like staying in town. After this, I took a trip afterwards with Rick Steve's tour. I went back to Paris to do a little work, and it was nice for the connection, but it wasn't like being in homes with Rotarians. And in a few months, in April and May, we're going to be honored to host District 1700 folks, and we're looking forward to it. Actually, third Sunday night, I'm having dinner with Greg and Lily and Danny from Perignon and her son, because she's traveling to visit some family over here. She won't be coming in the spring. Totally cool stuff. So I would keep those dates in mind, because I know that Greg's going to do an outreach to everybody and for host families, but also it's important to have thinking about what we can show them in our area, because we have a rich history as well. Greg is listed up there, but he's on the website too. It is a pleasure to be with you again and to have your energy and your attention. Thank you for all that you do in this community. You're amazing.
Wait, don't go. Come back. We have a raffle.
Oh.
And you have to choose, you must choose one of these.
I'll give you one.
One of these? There's coins in there too.
Oh, don't get just the tickets.
Oh, do I get the coin?
No.
So anybody that, if there's 10 people that bought this, 9 people will hate you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Bruce, would you start my card for me, please? It's a ticket. It's a green ticket. 333 0 9 5 0 9 5 going once.
Wow.
Oh, I'm gonna get this by default. 0 9 5 going twice.
He doesn't understand.
Winner does not means to be present.
Needs to be present, huh?
Okay.
Nobody?
Oh, hold up, wait a minute, Barbara's out there.
Those are unsold.
095? Okay. 333. 100. Nice round, even number.
Somebody must have that.
100.
Nobody?
Scott, what do we do if we get to the third time?
I think we divided up.
Okay. These must be last week's tickets, you think?
Somebody didn't take them out.
Good news, oh, it's rejection.
098. Okay, these are last year's tickets. You've been cranked. You've been cranked.
Wouldn't surprise me. Get paid.
Talk to Matt. Tell him to throw out last week's tickets and put in, and then you have room for the next one. Right. 093.
No, they're last week's.
Too low. We need high numbers.
I have 109. You got 109.
103 is probably still too low.
Close, getting close there. You're getting there.
Boy, somebody, this is a great way to do a meeting.
I'm with you.
96 ain't gonna cut it. All right. 92's not gonna cut it. 101's not gonna cut it. I'm having fun here. Oh, 126.
Oh. Yay! Wow.
Okay, well, before you go, there's a wonderful gift for you. Thank you for all of your work drawing.
You have to use work for this? The weight was worth it right there.
Okay, buddy, you feeling lucky? Punk? Okay, just get one, this one, no, that one. Okay. King of Hearts, and?
Tear it up.
Oh, yeah. Door prize from Gail, thank you very much.
Empty out the rest. Tastes like chicken.
Tear the card up so it doesn't go back.
Somebody get this back up. And Aretha, oh, we talked about that. And, wait a minute.
That's new. It's a DNA experiment. Scott's DNA.
Oh, yeah, okay.
We need Ken Grant.
Door prize, thank you, Gail. This is my cartoon. You see, this guy's getting student loans, and she said, I'd like a cute one, at least 21 who enjoys gardening. Okay, the clean as the morning dew joke of the day is for Darlene. She's not here, but she left me the joke.
Ah.
Yes, the morning dew.
So get ready, because it's hilarious. A blonde and a redhead have a ranch. They have just lost their bull. The woman needs to buy another one, but only has $500. The redhead tells the blonde, go to the market and see if you can find another one under that amount. If I can, I will send you a telegram. She goes to the market and finds one for $499. Having only $1 left, she goes to the telegraph office. Nobody goes to the telegraph office. And finds out that it costs $1 per word. She is stumped on how to tell the blonde to bring the truck and the trailer. Finally, she tells the telegraph operator to send one word: comfortable. Skeptical, the operator asks, how will she know how will she know to come with the trailer from just that one word? The redhead replies, she's a blonde, so she reads slowly. Comfortable. Darlene, this is Darlene. Darlene. So, Joe, have a trip.
Happy trip.